Hello, Rita. It's Naima. Congratulations on getting so far into the program that now you are ready to go to the U. I wanted to record this for you because there's going to be a couple things that I think will help you to do in InDesign. Um, just as I mark up, I'll just give you comments just to make sure that they make sense. So um, the first thing that I'm going to do is I will mark up like some of the spelling errors that I see, but there could also be a couple things that I miss. So before you do anything, when you are in InDesign, let me do a quick text frame real quick. I'm sorry if you can't see my menu since I'm on a Mac, but what you need to do is go up to, sorry, it's going to take me a minute to find it now. Let me make sure I am in my text box. Yes, I am. Sorry. So go up to Edit. I'm in the Edit menu right now, and then you're going to go down to Spelling. And two things, turn on dynamic spelling. So if something is spelled incorrectly, you'll get that little red squiggle right on that page and you'll be able to see it. And in order to see that red squiggle, you need to make sure that you are in your print preview mode, or not in your print preview mode. So hit W. And then the other thing is check spelling. Let me show you real quick what I mean by that. Let me open up a document that's already open. So for example, I've got this document right here, and if I hit W, you can see that there is a print preview. So you can see that overcomeable and reframe are spelled incorrectly because they have that red squiggle. And again, to turn that on, go up to Edit, down to Spelling, Dynamic Spelling. So you can catch those quickly. So that would be the first thing. Make sure you get that correct. And then here, make sure the U is uppercase as well. I think that'll just look a little bit more professional, and give a space between the comma and Sandy. I think all of those little details are important just because it shows that you have really taken the time to look through your portfolio and make sure everything looks as strong as it can. Going through your portfolio, the projects are really strong. So I'm just going to talk about those really quick. I really do like all of your projects. There's a couple that I'll talk about, but I think it represents you really well. And one thing, if possible, that I would like to see more of, there's a lot of digital stuff in here, and the sketches page is blank. So I think digitally it absolutely shows that you are strong in the digital realm. But if you do have even one more, analog project, or even a couple more sketches you can add for the process, your sketches were really good as well. So on this page, let's make sure to get table of contents spelled correctly, as well as twin home. I'd hate for any of those to come up. And remember, run spell check because there might be a couple things in here that I miss. So on this page, I think everything looks good. Now coming down to the actual pages, I'd like to see you simplify it just a little bit. So one concern for me is, whoops, sorry. And this is true on every single page. So first, spell check. And then after that, make sure most of your fonts are the same. So you have kind of like a sans serif Arial font here, but then you have the just the standard font that comes in InDesign here. Please just use one font. And here, I think that you don't need a space between all of these. There's not a lot of information, so I think it's okay if you don't have the spacing. I think it looks a little bit awkward to have them spaced out like that. So going down to the next page, this also looks like a bigger font. So again, materials isn't spelled correctly, and I think that this is bigger than the font that you used here. This seems slightly smaller. So again, I think all of these details really matter when you go for the final. Abstract experiment, make sure that you have that space between. And here, I'm not sure why, but your image is a little pixelated. This one looks clear. So with this image here, when you are in InDesign, there's a couple things to check. Let me try to find an image. First, make sure, let me find a better one, sorry. Let me just use this. So in your image, when you click on it, make sure that there's not like a caution sign on it. A caution sign means that the link is broken. So here on my links, you can get here by going to Window Links. Make sure that your links aren't broken. And by broken, I mean it's not finding the file. The other thing to make sure of is in Properties, for example, when I click on Sasha's picture, it shows me here that the scale is only 9% out of 100. If you are going past 100%, your images will also look pixelated. So please check those two things, because even if you have good work, if it looks pixelated, it'll take away from the quality. And again, I'll repeat what I said before. I don't think that you need to have a space between all of these. The other thing that I would say here is, yeah, I just don't think you need the space between all of those paragraphs. And simplify the font, make sure it is consistent. Same thing here. I think the font got even bigger, and now you have like 5 spaces between. So consistency is really, really important. I personally would get rid of this line and this line on every page. I think the only thing that you need is the 3 or the number for each one, and I would say the same thing here. I don't think you need it on any one of these pages. So coming down here, same thing. Also, for 3D compositions, you haven't titled, I guess you've titled this one, but the font is different. So make sure that everything is consistent on there. Okay, and if you can, maybe even move 3D compositions down so it fits on one line. But again, here, there's just a lot of room between each one. And here it says I use Liner organizing system. So I would say, you know, maybe don't put anything on there. Because it's not on any other one. I don't know, to be honest, I don't know if they are going to take the time to read it. So here, maybe because you're being so straightforward, like course 2610 workshop 2, spell check on materials, maybe under, instead of design objective, maybe put design concept. I'm going to try to write that. And then for concept, maybe just write a couple words. Maybe just write something along the lines of volume, linear, extended. Maybe that's all you need right there. But I would keep it as simple as possible just so it's consistent, because you haven't put them on any other one. And on the next page, you've written purpose. So maybe get rid of purpose and then just write like you did before, design objective. What was the objective here? And again, make sure the font size and style is the same on every one, and let's get rid of these lines. The reason why I want to get rid of these lines is if you really look close, none of them are really lining up with the 5 or any of the numbers. So it will actually look cleaner to, I think, get rid of those. Another thing that you could do that might help is, why don't you take the numbers down to this bottom corner, because that's typically where people look for numbers. So just put the number down here, and then you can put the title up here, and that will give you more space for it. And then everything else after that will be nice and clean and kind of like close together. This one will be a little bit tricky when you move it down, but maybe you move the whole paragraph down. So for example, take these two photos, move them up here to this corner, take the 7 and move it down to the corner, 7, and then the title will go right here, the view space in a landscape. Okay, and then you can do the same thing on these two. I think that'll be good to have those consistent, always in the corner. And I don't know if you plan on sending this as a spread. It looks like they're just single pages, so you probably don't need them side by side. These look good. Maybe make these a little bit bigger because these are taking a lot of space. You might not need to really see those, but if you make the drawings bigger. Now this is a good example of things that are probably not linked because these look very pixelated. So even at 150%, these should be really clear, but I think you can tell how pixelated they are. So make sure if you're going to include drawings that they look nice and clear. Here, I'm not sure why those white pads show up. It could be a some sort of a concrete pad, I'm not sure, but those would look better not there and just keep the floor plans. Again, even these are getting hard to read because they are so pixelated. Maybe pick one floor and make it larger. I'm not sure, but it would be nice if those could read a little bit better. Same thing here, just check for pixelation, do everything the same. I'm going to not comment on these because it's all pretty much the same. So again, great work here. Please, please, please be sure to get those sketches in. They're really important. Especially on some of your workshop projects, if possible, maybe sneak in some of your sketches, Photoshop style, because I remember you did have wonderful sketches. So I hope that helps. If you do another round and have any other questions, please let me know. I'm so sorry this took so long to get back to you. It's just a really busy month, and I wanted to make sure I could record for you. All right, Rita, good luck. I'm cheering for you.